And welcome back to Let's Play Resident Evil 4. We're mixing things up a little bit today. We're gonna be go, 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 go. We are starting off in the Biohazard 4 for the GameCube for once. Bit of an interesting way to change things up, but I thought it would be an ideal way to just approach this game with a brand new mindset here. What we're going to do also, just to economize our time, is we are going to make a heavy use of the Ditman glitch going for a bit. As you can see, we've still got our rocket launcher, and we really haven't had an opportunity to use this, so why don't we just run on through here. I don't even need to kill these guys. You know what? I'm turning over a new leaf as Leon. We're not even going to bother with these guys. Heading on into this mining section right here, you'll see that there is a big boulder blocking our path. We just want to immediately run up, and we are just going to shoot right through that. Not even worry about it, honestly. I mean, what's the point? Let's just continue on through there. Very effective use of my rocket launcher, if I do say so myself. Now, heading into this room right here, we've got a boss fight coming up, but again, I'm in such a hurry, and really, do we need another boss fight? I mean, we just took on Verdugo, so why don't we just, once again, get the Ditman glitch going here, and we are just going to do a little bit of ziplining. You know, Leon has been working so hard up to this point in the game, he could use a little bit of recreational activity, I think, so let's get on the zipline right here and just ride on through, and boy, he is so eager to be doing that he has actually gotten ahead of the zipline, but that was so much fun. Why don't we just do it again real quick? Climb back up right here, and we can just catch another zipline ride, so why not? Goodness gracious, that one was so fun, it took us right through the wall. Well, I see no reason to stick around here. We've already gotten out of bounds. Why don't we just head beyond those big double doors that we saw and just get on into the next area? There we go. Making good progress today. We're already mostly done with the chapter. I'm kidding. Welcome back to Let's Play Resident Evil 4. Just a couple things that I want to show off there before we get into the nitty-gritty. Now, the first thing that I did there is a very particular reason why I'm playing Biohazard 4 right now instead of Resident Evil 4 for the GameCube. And that is because that little thing I did with the rocket launcher does not work in the NTSCU version of this game. That was a little trick that they added, starting with Biohazard 4, and in fact, it is in every version of Resident Evil 4 except the original GameCube release for America, so I couldn't show that off there, but that's a little skip you can do with the rocket launcher in order to bypass a rather lengthy sequence. We'll be seeing how you're actually supposed to blow up that boulder in a bit. That said, there is a way to skip blowing up the boulder in the NTSCU version, so why don't we just pop over, show that off real quick. Now, just for the sake of demonstration real quick, just to show that I'm not talking out my rear end, yeah, the rocket launcher does nothing to that big old boulder in the NTSCU version. We're gonna have to find an alternative method, and fortunately, one does in fact exist. Now, for the sake of demonstrative purposes, and also just because I'm not super well practiced on this skip, I did kill all the enemies here. If you're doing a speed run and you want to save a significant amount of time with this, obviously you can't waste time killing the enemies, you just kinda have to YOLO it. But that also makes the trick a lot harder to demonstrate. So, what we want to do here is just run up and get, might be a little bit too far up there, but shouldn't matter too much. We want to angle ourselves very particularly, so let me, step out over here, get our knife lined up. You see how this little cliff there's like a little spike that juts out there. We want to be lined up with that in a very particular way. Take it at, like, a bit of a corner here, and messed it up. So I'll do a couple of tries here just to try and give you a good guiding line for the trick, but what we really want is we want to be on the lip of that ledge when we drop down. So once again, let's try and line ourselves up a little bit here. Take a walk here to keep it nice and slow. Once again, I fell, so I'll just cut ahead to when I finally get it. Alright, we're on the lip of this ledge now, and what we want to do is just turn a little to the left, and... Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. And we want to specifically grind up against that wall a little bit, so we get a little bit higher, but not too high. Now, grazing against that wall would put us up. Grazing into this wall instead pushes us down, and if we get pushed down enough, eventually we will be right past the wall. Obviously, this only really saves time if you just YOLO it and go past all the enemies. Otherwise, you may as well just do this the intended way if you waste too much time trying to get the airwalk. it also didn't help that I messed up the trick about 24 times trying to demonstrate it here. But obviously, that is not very beneficial for a completionist Let's Play, so we're just going to reload our file and start once again from the beginning here. Welcome back to Let's Play Resident Evil 4. Once more. And it's a good thing we're going back anyways, because there's a couple of things that I glossed over. Honestly, I'm going to use, I'm just going to combine, let's see, let's combine off this red herb, combine off these green herbs, and then fully heal ourselves there. Would be a good idea to have full health at this point. There are some items to grab here, as is so often the case. Spinel, hand grenade, which is going to come in handy in just a bit, and, of course, some ammunition. We could always use more of that. Looking for stuff to sell to the merchant here. We aren't going to sell our crown yet because it is not fully upgraded, but what we will be selling is, well, honestly, I don't need this crap. Get this out of here. Why do I even have this taking up space in my inventory? Get it out of here. Get it out of here. But also, we got a couple of incidental treasures along the way. The crown with jewels is way more expensive than the crown on its own. What, it was 9,000 pesetas before? So a pretty nice combination already, but we can make it better. We've also got a couple upgrades to purchase here. Sadly, not for anything we're still using, just the riot gun and the mine thrower. If you're committed to those weapons, though, very much appreciated. One pretty unfortunate thing is that we're not going to have any ammo for the TMP, and that is going to hurt me pretty significantly coming up in a bit, but it's not exactly the end of the world either. I can live without it. Over here, we get some more handgun ammo, which I am actually going to need a decent amount of, and another memo over here. Luis's Memo 2. The first Castellan buried the Las Plagas deep underground below the castle to hide their very existence. But when Salazar released the Las Plagas, no one thought he could bring them back to life, because when Salazar found them, they were all just fossilized remains. Everyone knew that the parasitic organisms could not survive without hosts, that they couldn't sustain life on their own. But when Salazar and his men excavated the remains, it almost appears as if the Las Plagas were just waiting to be discovered so that they could be resurrected. Several years later, unexplainable convulsions started occurring among the villagers who helped with the excavation of the Las Plagas. Then one day, all of a sudden, these villagers turned into violent savages. They later found out it was caused by the Las Plagas. Although they appeared fossilized, they were able to survive long years by lying in a dormant state at the cellular level, remaining in a spore-like form. Apparently, during the excavation, the villagers inhaled the spores, and within their bodies, the parasites became active again. This is how the Las Plagas were resurrected. Even as I'm writing, the excavation of the Las Plagas continues. God only knows how many of these plagas have been resurrected, not to mention the countless number of Gigantes that have been created. Their inhumane activity must be put to an end. If they are not stopped, people around the world could turn into victims of this crazy cult organization. A little bit more background there. And yes, we are going to what is the modern birthplace of the Las Plagas. But more importantly than that, we have got a new shooting range here. With this shooting range, the C game is available. Now, I'm only going to be using the rapid-fire weapons for this very first run of it so that I can get all the targets easily. At this point, the TMP is too unreliable to consistently perform in the shooting range, so I much rather switch to the sniping loadout when I'm not just trying to shoot all the targets. Also note that we've got a new background here. Nope, whoops, hold on, cancel my game there. Got caught off guard. I had to select C game. There we go. But, of course, there are new ways to, get reactions from this background. As you can see, you can shoot the castle to get a laugh from Salazar. Why am I being so particular here? I just need to hit all the targets. And once again, we have a situation where it is wise to move a little bit. Note that some of these targets are only up for a very short period of time, so be mindful of that. We don't even care. We are just shooting all the targets as quickly as we can, get our first special bottle cap, and give you a decent demonstration of what this first shooting range looks like. We can take all these guys out. Surprisingly, I did actually get a 5-hit combo there, so we'll go for the Salazar shot, just for the heck of it. And yeah, hitting all the targets is pretty easy. Now, at this point, I would like to just switch over to the sniping kit. With the sniping kit, I'm only ever going to be using the handgun. The rifle is just way too slow to ever be worth it. Not a good idea to switch to it at all. Just gonna be sticking with old reliable and the handgun. We'll be cutting back in once we get to the harder game. Although, while we're doing this, I could just show you another interaction, like if you shoot the moon, get a little bit different lights there. And we will go for some headshots here. And, I should have gone for the body shot there. Definitely go for the headshot on that lady, though. And this one. I'm trying to get more interactions, but I actually need to pay attention to getting good scores. Alright, we're on the final range now. Unfortunately, I couldn't remember any more of the interactions to get on the background for the new castle one. Incidentally, the remaining shooting ranges will also just have the castle background. So I suppose I can go into a little bit of a technique for this new harder version of the... goddammit. Of the shooting range here. Whenever you miss a shot, it's always a good idea to just open up with a headshot after that, just because it's not like you lose anything for trying it anymore. And ditto, your first shot should always be an attempted headshot. Again, because you're not losing anything if you screw up. Let me see here. I want to hit this one. Then we'll just go for body shots here in order to make sure we actually get the combo going. Remember that if targets go down, you don't actually have to worry about missing out on the Salazar target. It's only if you literally miss your shots, like I just did there. So that's unfortunate, but still good enough there. Funnily enough, when I was just starting to cut, I actually did get a 4,000 point score earlier. Now with that taken care of, we can end our game here. I actually read the choices this time. Get 6 bottle caps to complete our 3rd row collection and get a cool 35,000 pesetas. Pretty nice. We are actually going to be in quite a bit of need of all that money there. Moving on, let's also check out our new bottle caps here. Get some more enemies, as well as the man, the myth, the legend, the merchant himself. Welcome. Of course, classic. I kind of have to admire the narcissism this guy has of giving us a collectible of himself. Over here, we got the zealot with the scythe. I believe he said, "I want to kill," if I caught that right. Basically just saying, die, die, die. Now that doesn't sound like any language I've ever heard. He's over there. Don Pedro, you've definitely seen better days. Well, that was a nice little bit of collectibles there. Moving on from that, let's take our new striker shotgun for a spin. It's going to come quite in handy in the upcoming area here. Now we're actually going to get to see it properly. As before, of course, I was just speeding through to demo all of the skips that you can do in this area. Note that the striker and the Ditman glitch are basically the cornerstone of any skip going further in the game. Now, if you're playing on future releases of this game, the striker will be even more effective here, as it will be dealing just so much damage with the upgrade that you got. It'll have 7 firepower to work with. Let's just, oh god. Yeah, I was hoping I would get him scattered or skittering over there eventually. There we go. I was a bit unlucky there, but I'm willing to accept that. You know, these things happen. The rifle ammo right here will actually be much appreciated. Also, I am going to need some handgun ammo for later, so we'll also be taking that. It'll be a little bit before we can upgrade the capacity, though it will be available next chapter for the rifle. So I will have to actually use some of my rifle ammo, perish the thought. But it's definitely worth it here. We've got a ton of enemies posted around this area. We are just going to spend quite a bit of time sending these guys down the river real quick. This guy, we'll just send him down the ladder while we're at it. We'll leave those guys alive, because they don't actually have any projectiles to hit us with, so it's not really worth it to go out of my way to kill them. That guy is down there. Anybody else for me to snipe? Incidentally, although it does not come up very often, there is fall damage for the enemies in this game when you knock them off a sufficiently tall ladder, and this has come up a couple times in the mercenaries videos. They will die, provided the distance was long enough. Get some shotgun ammo there to replace the striker ammo we used up. Whoop. That was a rather close explosion there, I gotta say. Take that guy out real quick. Anybody else around here just chucking nasty explosives at me? I think it's worth it to go up top. Well, actually, no. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. One fun thing you can see here, though, is these plagas on the rock appear to be fossilized. Just how old are these things? Following up on that note that we saw there, but what we actually want to do before we get any further along is we want to yank this lever right here. Pull the lever and move the trolley. And we're going to find that we're going to have a bit of a trolley problem here, as unfortunately, the elevator to lower said trolley, well, the power has just blown. So our next order of business is to throw that circuit breaker and get this thing back up and running. So, let me see here. I know, there you are. Knew some other enemy with dynamite was waiting around. Just gotta make sure I can actually hit him. Ah, missed the headshot there. Bit unfortunate, but not the end of the world either. Let's give ourselves a quick reload here. I haven't missed any other items. No, I don't think. And that should actually do for the semi-auto rifle. We can switch back over to the striker here and make some good utilization of our shotgun ammo. We have a pretty generous amount of it, so again, best to not let all those bullets just burn a hole in my case, you know? Alright, throw the circuit breaker here, turn it back on, and now we can finish up with the trolley there, or the minecart, I should say. Not that this guy is going to make it easy. We've got another Dr. Salvador encounter, though we saw this guy at the start of the game, and even then, it wasn't too difficult to take him out with the equipment that we have. We are just going to trigger this guy and bring him forward and send him to the ground with a quick shotgun blast. Yeah, I'm kind of want to save my blacktail ammo for something coming up, but we can at least empty a magazine into this guy to deal some good damage. And now we'll switch back over to the striker and focus on locking him down with that, as well as taking down the incoming Ganados. Keep ourselves fully loaded while I'm at it. Definitely want to shoot into those thrown sickles. There we go. Like I said before, the distance shooting on the striker is not exactly inspiring, but it's good enough for our purposes. Note that we do not have any reload speed upgrades right now, so we do have a bit of a struggle coming up with that. Whoop! You ain't even gonna get the chance. And let's just send that guy down. Looks like Dr. Salvador is also on the outs here. Not gonna be able to expect a house call from him anytime soon, but what we can expect is 10,000 pesetas. Again, I appreciate all the money we can get. Let's get our minecart lowered once more. Pull the lever, and there we go. Part 1 of the mission has been accomplished there, but why exactly did we want this minecart? What does it have for us? Well, I'm glad you asked. We are, of course, stymied by not being able to blow up the rock with a rocket launcher, but fortunately for us, there is a pack of dynamite that should do the trick in this version of the game, so let's get to it. Once you have the dynamite, just examine the rock over here, and Leon will be all too happy to slap that down, and you better get away from that quickly. Yeah, I don't think it would be too wise to stand right in front of it. Now we can finally deal with these guys and pick up any goodies that they might have for us. You gonna go for, blow? No? Okay, we'll just send you to the ground. Did one of those guys get blown up? Well, I guess I don't really need to worry too much about it. We'll also just shoot those open, more for the fun of it, rather than it's anything necessary to do. Is anything I do really all that necessary? Get some magnum ammo, which is much appreciated, as well as another hand grenade. Again, I could use as many of those as we can possibly muster. Because our reload speed is pretty slow for the broken butterfly, and I am not going to be upgrading it any further, we better make sure it's loaded right now. Let me see. I'll want to have the blacktail equipped. We're likely going to run out of handgun ammo in the upcoming room because I'm going to be dependent on spamming my shots here in order to deal a good amount of damage to the bosses that this time we're actually going to fight. We're not just going to bypass them by clipping out of bounds. Fortunately, the game gives us a good amount of supplies to work with here. A first aid spray is always appreciated, so generous when the game gives that to us. We also get a flash grenade, which will come in handy, and some shotgun shells here, which actually are not going to be that useful. We would much prefer handgun ammo. Why? Well, step forward a bit. And it's Dos Gigantes time. Yep, they just got 2 of these guys lying in wait, with unique designs this time. Now, we are actually going to use the zip line still, as there is something very beneficial we can do with this. Using the zip line, we can quickly get over to the other side of the room, and we want to immediately start mashing the A button and pull this lever right here. Okay, whoops. No, that is not what I wanted to do. Hold on. that was a bit of a false start there. That usually works. Once again, the Let's Play curse is coming in full force. My go-to strategy just failed miserably there. I'm so used to having to actually mash the button to get that to work. Well, that is embarrassing, and there is egg on my face, but that would not be the first time that this has happened, this Let's Play. Fortunately, once we grab the items, we can move a bit faster on this. That was a whoopsie. But yes, we do want to drop one of these Gigantes into the drink there. We got some molten steel that will deal quite a bit more damage to these guys than our bullets. So let's try and stick to that. Okay, let me once again mash to at least grab the lever here. There we go. That's what should happen. Once you drop that guy in, he will be out of the picture, so we don't have to worry about him anymore. This guy seems a little bit confused and concerned that his friend has just been sent down into the void. We're going to use a flash grenade to stun this guy real quick. So let's just do that, and then get back to spamming blacktail shots into him. I don't want to get close to the molten steel there. It would be unwise to do so. There we go. After enough blacktail fire, we're not actually going to go up and knife him. What we're actually going to do is we are going to take the broken butterfly, and you can actually shoot the parasite that pops out, dealing a whole bunch of damage to it at once. And that is generally more effective, and also it keeps us away from the molten steel there. For the record, the lever can only be pulled once. I'm also going to immediately do a bunch of damage to this guy with my grenades here. Throw in some more blacktail shots to sweeten the deal for this guy. Let's see here. And now we are going to do the other main trick for this fight, and that is getting back onto this platform and letting this guy shake it. We can take the zip line down, and fortunately we will be dropped off at a point where he is still shaking, not quite sure what to do about that, and we can go back to just peppering him with more gunfire. I'm wondering if the dang it! I'm wondering if the damage from my grenades happened to get eaten because he was still in recovery frames there. Unfortunate thing that can happen, but it's not the end of the world. The progression of this fight is quite simple. You just get onto the platform, zip line back down. Would have liked if I could have done this a little bit more efficiently than I ended up doing. We're also low on handgun ammo, so now I'm going to switch over to the semi-auto rifle, and we can squeeze off 2 shots at this guy while he's on the other side. Actually, we can go for a third. Alright, now we want to go wide here, not have the same problem come up again. The rifle is a little too slow to get in any incidental shots, so we just want to stick to getting to the zip line here. You can try to fire in off more blacktail shots if you are so inclined. But with the rifle, we just want to stick to... Whoop, there we go. And once again, we are going to bust out the broken butterfly here. Alright. Get this shot off here. Now, I'm going to wait for him to get back out of his recovery frames real quick. And we are just going to directly pepper him with broken butterfly shots now. Alright, save that one for later. Oh, God! Yeah, this is not going as I had hoped. This is pretty poor. As you can see, there is a very good reason why I want to use the strategies I have been using for this fight, because it can go a little bit sideways. Get that going there. Unfortunately, he is still not finished off, so what we're going to do is pull out the blacktail again, just empty what's left of the magazine. Now we can take out a flash grenade, stun him with that, and yeah, you do not want to fight both of these guys. They are ridiculous damage sponges. It will take all of your ammo to defeat these guys, not to mention it'll be considerably more annoying to deal with them. Alright, one last broken butterfly shot into the parasite, and we should be good to go here. Oh, dude, are you kidding me? Okay, that's another new thing. That should have finished him off, actually. Well, we're going for a bit of a lengthy encounter here. Goodness gracious, I was not expecting this. Things are going a little unideal. You definitely want to wait for him to start shaking the platform there before you get back into doing any damage to him. We also want to be moving quickly here, so I am actually going to use up the first aid spray that we got. So why don't we, or one of the first aid sprays that we got. Alright, so let's just get back to shooting this guy with the rifle. He's going to go for a charge there whenever he rears up like that. Works out for me, though, because we can get a quick rifle shot there. Remember, you do not have to wait out for the rifle to rechamber another shell. You can just exit it, and Leon will be able to move instantly, which is much appreciated. Yep, there we go. Just wanted to make sure he was in position. We get a lot more time to shoot him if he's actually shaking the platform. Okay, once again, go wide. And now we get into the rather slow and repetitious loop of this battle. Trying to squeeze off shots while this guy's just stomping and homping towards you, not gonna work out too well. Man, this fight proved to be quite the disaster. You can see why I demoed a way to skip it, if you're not too interested in dealing with this guy. Ah, boy, that was terrible. Oh no! Man, I am not having a good time here. What is my issue? It would be helpful if I still had some more flash grenades. Now you can see why I like to keep 2 of these. Goodness gracious, this is a disaster. This is probably the most embarrassing moment I've had in this LP thus far, and believe me, we've had quite a few stinkers up to this point. There we go. Get to it, my guy. All of my techniques are just not working out here. Alright, get another couple rifle shots on this guy. Let him charge there, since it works out for us, honestly. We'll take a risk on that. There we go. Now we're out of broken butterfly ammo, so we'll just go for a bit of knife slashes. Fortunately, with the rest of the damage that we've dealt with this guy, this should definitely kill him. Man, not my battle, not my battle. Well, whatever. Once again, we defeat un gigante, and we get 15,000 pesetas for our efforts. We're not going to reload the rifle here because, like I said, next chapter we will have another capacity upgrade for it, so I may as well just load up on incidental ammo, eh? And let's break these barrels real quick. Now, get some incendiary grenades, and actually, very fortuitously, some shotgun shells. We're going to need quite a few striker blasts to get through this next section. But, before we do... And this is something that I'm only going to do in the, I'd only do in the NTSCU GameCube version. If you've dropped one of the Gigantes into the molten steel, come back into the room, and very curiously, you will find that 15,000 pesetas await you. This is the money that the Gigante that we dropped into the steel would have dropped for us had we killed him normally. Now, in the GameCube version, he still drops this when he is dropped into the molten steel, but obviously it's the circular drop point closes up with him still inside it, and the pesetas are dropped underneath it. However, boss item drops never despawn. They are hard-coded to stay there until you either pick them up or you're just permanently removed from the area where you can find them. So when the map deloads, the pesetas that the Gigante drops get forced back up to the covering of the molten steel pit. This was corrected in all future releases of the game starting from Biohazard 4 on the GameCube. When a Gigante is dropped into the molten steel pit, it does not drop any pesetas, so it's only in this version of the game that you can get a little freebie for your cash, which I am not above exploiting, since, well, we're here anyway. When in Rome, right? When in Rome. Anyways, we've got the last encounter with the Vistadors. Or, once again, I suppose I should say the Vistadors here. So, we are going to be making heavy use of the striker here. Remember that the flying Vistadors, they only have 1 hit point, so any shot will kill them instantly. Very helpful to keep in mind. Would actually be really nice if we could have gotten some upgrades for the striker here. It's not going to be terribly effective compared to the HD version of the game. But again, this is your last encounter with these things, so by extension, your last chance to get a blue eye if you have not gotten a second one for the other butterfly lamp. So if you are looking to exploit that, it might be worth it to go back and save your progress so that you can at least fish for some chances to get blue eye drops. We are going to back up here real quick. I can hear another guy from up top. One annoying thing about the flying Vistador, as a matter of fact, it's probably in my best interest to just go into this cave here, as we're gonna have to come here anyway. Let's do this so that I can actually get a better point of vision for any incoming enemies. There we go. Worked out perfectly. Worked out perfectly. Anyone else flying in? As a matter of fact, yes. Let's just take out our blacktail here. And after some really good... these guys are a little too far away. After some really good item RNG for TMP ammo in the beginning of the game. Now we're on a situation that is much more familiar to me, where we are not getting any TMP ammo. It's actually really unfortunate, because the TMP is quite good here. And remember, once again, flying Novistadors, they just have no health, anything will kill them, and with the TMP surprisingly good distance shooting, and its ability to spam fire, we can put in some pretty good work with it here. Now, once you hit that switch, we are going to have multiple Novistadors closing in on us. I gotta get my terminology right. The Novistadors. Whoa, hey! That guy actually just sealed his own fate. He decided to go into flight there. Not exactly a wise idea, my friend. But yeah, we basically just got a little kill box here. You do want to huddle up on the entrance point like this, because if you don't, these guys can cause all sorts of havoc, swarm you from multiple angles. Several of them will be flying, and while the flying Novistadors are not that huge of a deal, if you get the drop on them, if they start surrounding you, they can quickly start laying out the damage at a rapid pace, so be very mindful of that. We'll just fire off some striker shots here. Remember, even though the distance shooting is terrible, no health, so even just the lightest graze of the spread will send these guys flying downward. Not exactly the best airborne creatures. Hey! This has been, to make up for my lack of TMP ammo, which, speaking of, we at least have a fixed pickup here, which I'm not going to use, because I think we're getting an upgrade for the TMP where I can increase its capacity soon. Let me see. I can hear it from overhead. Oh, no, never mind. They're right here. Goodness gracious, that is a ton of them. And they're all down. Gotta love those gratuitous multi-kills. Keep our striker loaded. Next chapter, we will finally be able to upgrade the striker in this version of the game, but it's really not worth holding out for that particular capacity upgrade. I kind of need to make use of the ammo that we are getting at this point. Another switch here. Now, you may be wondering, why exactly are we pressing these switches? Well, once we solve our Legend of the Hidden Temple-esque puzzle, the lights will refract into the mirror here, and it will unseal that door for us. That door is our ticket out of there. Not exactly sure if that's how light works, but whatever. Apparently that door was made of ants, so theoretically we could have just shot through it, really. But hey, let's do this the fun and complicated way. Olmec would be proud. Olmec would be proud. Once again, we will have more Beastadors funneling in here. One going up top there. No! That's exactly what I was worried about. These things are so annoying when they get fly into weird positions like that make them really difficult to deal with. That is also unfortunate. Oh no, I don't know where it's gone. Yeah, these things, this is exactly what you don't want to see. Oh boy. There we go. Ow, goodness, goodness, goodness. Yeah, this is where it gets scary. Fortunately, we've gotten plenty of healing items in here. I kind of get the feeling they were aware this section could become a pain in the ass. Okay. Send that guy down. Better make sure I got the striker loaded, honestly. There we go. Okay. I got a little messy there. Yeah, sometimes they can fly high, and it is remarkably irritating to hit them when they just go directly above Leon. Leon is not exactly great at pointing his guns straight upward. Over here, we've got a couple of, well, actually a whole bunch of Novistadors that are just flying around wildly, having the time of their lives, for what's left of it, And, oh man, that guy actually wanted him to stay airborne there. Oh god, all of them are actually dropping from the sky. That's not good for me. Not what I wanted to see, not what I wanted to see. I gotta admit, the ways that they've spawned it's another situation where I'm not seeing expected behavior here. Normally there's only like 3 of those guys flying around up there. I've never seen this many left once I'm leaving the area. Crazy stuff, crazy stuff. But hey, it's keeping the game fresh for me. I'm seeing so many things that I've never actually seen before. Or at the very least, I've never had the game deviate this much. Hey, a whole bunch more TMP ammo. I appreciate it. Still holding on to it. Thankfully, the door or the gate itself here did not get scorched too badly, so we just hit that switch and we are through. Got another procession of death traps here. You get no points for guessing what happens if you are standing under these crushers when they go on down, so be careful with your steps here. Fortunately, jumping down here does not put us in the direct path of a crusher. Just move quickly and get through here. Now, pay attention to the wall to the side here. You want to hit this lever. When I was doing my initial replay of this game, I completely missed this lever was here and just tried to time my run through. That will not work out. You need to hit the lever there to bring up this central smasher, and thankfully there is a light to signpost to you where you should be standing underneath. If you try to just run straight through that, you will get crushed. Heading on to here, we actually have the end of the chapter, in addition to the royal insignia. This is the remaining item that combines into the crown that we've gotten, giving it a tremendous value when we sell it to the merchant. And we are going to be spending a lot of money at the merchant next time, so look forward to that. But yeah, just check this once more, and chapter clear. Alright, so that is it for this chapter, obviously, but there is one last thing I would like to show off before we move on to the next one. So why don't we pop over into the HD version this time? This is a trifecta this time. We're getting to see 3 different versions of Resident Evil 4. Beautiful thing to see. You love to see it. This is the kind of edition that I live for. So, once again, we find ourselves in the Dos Gigantes room. No, that's accurate. If I had said Los Gigantes, I would have been inaccurate there. Not exactly the best start to this, but that's not super important. That's not what I care about. Let me just make sure I can get through this without dying. So, what we want to do here is, once again, just climb up to this scaffolding here, and utilize our zip line for another attempt at giving the Gigantes a bath real quick. Want to mash here real quick. And you can only get one of these guys in here. Now, previously, I made sure to stand well and truly clear of this molten steel pit, because of something that can happen here. So, what we want to do is stand over by the front here. There we go! Yes, if you are standing too close to the pit, and a Gigante is in it, when Gigante is in it, he can reach up and just grab you and send you into the drink, into the molten Kool-Aid. Not a fun time, so be mindful of that. Just wanted to make sure I showed that off before I missed it, because we've been showing off all sorts of unique deaths. It's a fun time. It's a fun time. Anyway, let's end it here for real. As always, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, though, goodbye.
I don't dispute the doubts you've outlined, but it's my right to waste your time.